Yep, sorry, I was muted. Hi, welcome on in. I was mostly just explaining my starting soon screen. I was like, it was a bit of a jump with the music, you know, goes from something a bit high energy down to, very chill music like this. But yeah, I think I was so focused on switching the music because I have to do that manually. I forgot to unmute my mic. I hope it's working. Hold on. Hello? Yeah. Well, it's not a VTuber stream if there's no scuff, so. Well, in other news, that was kind of productive today. I'm mostly done with this model. He has two little outfits. So yeah, honestly, I was hoping to have it ready to rig before stream, but well, here we are. What have you been up to? During my day of rest and relaxation, I was playing Divinity Original Sin 2, the predecessor to Baldur's Gate 3, and honestly, I am having a blast. It's not as good, but it scratches a very similar itch. I dived straight into tactician mode. I was getting my ass handed to me literally every fight, but we adapt. Honestly, it's a whole new system that I'm learning. It's not like D&D 5th edition. It's more like Pathfinder because there's different rules, different mechanics. I've kind of just stumbling through them blind, but I've been having a great time. I got it on sale too. I don't think I got one. Yeah, I only got two. I'm curious what the new game is going to be like. Okay, since they're shying away from Wizards of the Coast, so they won't make it D&D based. I think they might go back to their old system, which I'm actually looking forward to now that I've played Original Sin 2. I love action points over movement action, bonus action. You are far, far more flexible, and honestly, I live for it. The one thing I don't like about Original Sin 2 is you can't jump, which is very annoying because in Baldur's Gate 3, if you wanted to get past some of your allies and they're blocking the way, you can just jump over them. But you can't do that in this one. So if you have like allies blocking the way, like that's it. But it's a double edged sword. In your favor, you can easily block doorways with barrels. That's what I do. If I'm like, oh, there are too many enemies, I gotta separate them. I just barricade a few doors, pick them off one by one, and yeah, I'm allowed to fight dirty because I'm playing tactician mode. What news have they said about the new game, or is it mostly just they're making it and it's not going to be D&D? You know what? Let me check that out. I think they just had a cinematic trailer. Ooh, okay. Let me see if I can find it. It got game journalists mad because of the content. What did they do? Okay, I see it. Let me put it on screen. Hold on. The trailer's graphic? Oh, I guess I can put it on stream then because I've not set mine to 18 plus. I don't get in trouble. So, this is what I'm watching, and I'm gonna skip ahead to. I'm skipping like the first minute. Okay, the trailer starts at like 1 minute, 15 seconds. I'm just gonna hit play. My desktop audio is off, right? Yeah, it's been off for like a year. Anyway, I'm just checking out the trailer. You guys can watch along. It starts at 1 minute, 15 seconds. Hmm. Hmm. The graphics are beautiful. Ew. Some guy just threw up and pigs immediately started eating the vomit. Are they burning people alive? Of course. It's not a Larian game without a cult. That's what I'm starting to learn. While playing Divinity Original Sin, I realized they also have a thing for brainworms. Yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm glad I didn't put this on stream. It's a guy being whipped and burned alive. I think that's against TOS. Oh, there's some people doing the nasty. At the very least, 18 plus. If I set the thing, if I set my stream to 18 plus, it would have been fine. Yeah, that's nasty. I'm just watching the guy being ripped apart, people eating the food, and it's a bit too graphic. It doesn't tell you what it's about, but I'm excited. Okay, trailer's done. Hmm. I look forward to it. But yeah, brainworm things. Apparently, like I was playing Original Sin 2. In one of the dungeons, they were kind of brainwashing people. And on one of the tables, it says, hey, there is a jar of mind worms. And I'm like, this came out way before Baldur's Gate 3. And I'm like, I think they just really like the idea. Maybe it's a, Easter egg, subtle nod. Maybe they just really like the idea. I don't know. Either way, I like their games. Is there a release date? I'm going back to Googling about it. Are we gonna get work done today? Doesn't matter. I have met my work quota for. Yeah, okay. I finished The Art of Two Models. We can take it easy. What's the new game called? Hello, Ordy Man. How you? Hi, Maxine. Welcome on in. We are talking and yapping about Larian Studios and Baldur's Gate like games. I'm googling the new one. What is it called? We just watched the trailer. I forgot what it's called. New Divinity game release date. Mm, yeah, they haven't set out a date. Oh well. Um, you know what? Usually, I never get games the moment they come out. I might for this one. But yeah, anyway, that's enough about Divinity today. How have you been, Maxine? What have you been up to? Looks like they have a lot of jobs open, so they are probably just getting started. Hmm. I don't know too much about game dev. I thought they would have hired the people and then started releasing the stuff, but I don't know. Not my industry. Good, got my new computer. Can't use it for like a week though because this hasn't moved her stuff into her new one yet. Ah, wait, hold on. Did I misunderstand that? Oh, are you like scavenging it for parts? RAM has gotten pretty hard to do again. I did see something kind of wild. There's a PC builder, provider, shop, whatever you call them, right? Words are hard. They basically just straight up said, "Hey, we can sell you the PC. It just doesn't have RAM in it." And honestly, I can kind of understand. But yeah, I'm really glad I got my PC ages ago. Ooh, one of my friends, he's been saving up for a PC. He was like me, right? From my home country as well. Wanted gaming PC for like 10 years plus. It was like childhood dream of ours. And he was saving up, he was saving up, he was almost about to get it, and then this RAM thing happens. And by sheer stroke of luck, he manages to get the last one at the store. And he has just been so happy ever since. I can just imagine, right? Imagine your childhood dreams crumbling before your eyes, and before it's all gone, hope emerges in the form of RAM and GPU, I think. Have to have a story first? I thought they would have hired people like quietly and then like started releasing it, but I don't know. That's just my head canon, what I assumed. No, sister got a new computer, I got her old one. Well, it's new to you, and that's all that matters. In fact, the first PC that I got, it wasn't even a gaming one. It's just like a desktop office one. It had, integrated graphics in the CPU, but it was a step up from my 10-year-old laptop at the time. That one was secondhand. And actually, I got it for a really good price because I think this is during an internship, the boss of the place was like, "Hey guys, I know someone who knows someone who knows someone in the government who are like all selling their old PCs because they're upgrading, and it's like a third of the price." So I just snagged one. I still have it. That's the one I wanted to run my Minecraft server on with my friends, but ended up not doing yet. So we ended up just like paying for it. I think it's like $10 a month for I think like a 9 GB RAM server. They actually went on to I think it's like think of it as like Asian eBay. It's called Shopee. So basically, they just went on it, searched up a Minecraft server, and there's just like some random guy there, like, yeah, I can just give me money, and I will like set up the server. And they got it for like really cheap because I know most official places, if you like If you try to host a server, I think they charge you what, like 40, $50 a month? So yeah, the downside is it's hosted from Asia. So I have like a ton of lag, but like over half of them are there, so it's okay. And besides, I grew up playing Minecraft with like really terrible ping. I think back then the internet was so bad. Every time I would jump off of something, it would lag, and then like a few seconds later, I get kicked from the server, and it says reason of flying. It would lag so much that I think it would lag to the point where I would take too long in the air, and the game would be like, "Oh, he's cheating." It wasn't a ban; it was just a kick. But yeah, it was kind of annoying. It would happen like once an hour. Times were tough. Now I have like 1 Gbps internet. I can never go back. My heart goes out to my younger brother and my friends in my home country with their 10 Mbps internet. You pay for 50, but realistically, you get like 20 to 30. Lurk has good arts. Well, thanks for stopping by. Will we even be productive today? We shall. I should play Warcraft 2 or Jedi Knight 2 on 56k modem. And I used to think playing Flash games with 100 kbps internet was like good. Backhouse arting, I want to say is going well, but it's not going at all. We were just yapping. Also, my internet is now flooded with arc raiders. I mentioned being interested in it once. The government were spying on me, and now all I have are ads about it. It's always people doing trick shots with explosives. I kind of want it now. The psyop is working. Algorithms. I think because like I searched up the game once in order to like check the pricing and stuff. Maybe that's what happened. Hmm. Thing always saves. Yeah. I try my best to. How do you say this? If it's something I want to check out like once, I usually go for like a guest. How do you say this? You know your window has like profiles if you use Chrome. I open like a guest window so like it doesn't save anything because apparently they still like monitor your activity in incognito mode and give you ads based on like stuff like that. I saw like there was a huge scandal. I think it was what, years ago, months ago. Time is a concept. It happened in the past and that's all that matters. But yeah, where was I going with this? Right. So if it's something that I don't want to enter my algorithm, so to speak, I kind of just use like a guest window. So yeah, there was a point to this story, but I forgot what. Oh wait, I just remembered. Yeah. I was just randomly on the internet and I saw some guy like just he made a video and it was just like, you shouldn't delete your data, you should poison it. And I was like, interesting. So I clicked on it, and it was basically this guy who was just like yapping about like it's basically explaining how your internet traffic is tracked and how they use it to like give you targeted ads and stuff. Is like, things like incogni whatever, they delete the data, but the thing is it's a temporary solution because you will always be making like, you'll still be using the internet and all of that stuff, right? So he's like, you know what you should do, you should trip them up. He's like, they They want to know your age and this and that. They'll see based on the stuff you're searching. You know what you should do? Just randomly start clicking on ads you have no interest in. If it has an advertisement for something like prune juice, click on it. Make them think you're an 80-year-old man who's losing his teeth. You know, the guy's content was good. I think he is crazy. I don't think it's good as in it's correct. I think it's good as in it was entertaining to watch. Kind of like animals in a zoo. So it was kind of funny. I clicked on his channel, watched a couple more, and some of it was like a little political, very tinfoil hat wearing stuff. I was tempted to click on it just to see like the show, but I'm like, no, this will ruin my algorithm. The extensions that do all that and hide the actual clicks, But companies that delete your data don't want you to know about that. There's a class action lawsuit about that. Yeah, that's what I was remembering. But yeah, I was watching that video. I was entertained and amused, and I was just thinking, this guy's crazy. I mean, like, sure, you could trip it up for people who are trying to target ads at you, but like, at the end of the day, that's a lot of work. And what are you really getting? Ads with no relevance to you. Ooh, when I saw extensions, I remembered the honey scam. You guys know you guys know honey, right? It was really popular like a few years ago. It's basically that extension where when you're buying stuff, it promises to give you like how do you say this? It's like, oh, we'll search the internet and find like coupon codes so you get like discount for nothing. I think the funniest thing about that entire story is Markiplier going, I don't trust this. No reason. There's no evidence, no proof, no nothing. It's just a gut feeling. It's like they're offering free money. No one does that. So something is shady going on. And I can't put my finger on it. So he was just there like a crazy person. And I think it was years later they realized what the scam was. What would happen is, for example, if you use a creator's affiliate link, right? So that creator gets money. What Honey would do is it would pretend to scan online, be like, nope, we didn't find anything, and then very quietly change your cookies to say that, oh, you're using Honey's Honey's affiliate link, not whoever creator you're trying to like support. So for example, if I had like a affiliate link on Amazon for like a microphone and you would buy it thinking you're supporting me, what Honey would do is they would simply just change the cookie and go, oh, this affiliate link is from Honey, not from Ordi. So the money goes to Honey. They also found out they weren't choosing the best deal, they're choosing the promoted deal. Exactly. Honestly, if I'm on like if I'm shopping online, if something says this is sponsored, like a sponsored product, sponsored result, I immediately ignore it. I go to the next one. Even if it's exactly what I'm looking for, it's just on principle. Nope. Although employee perks go haywire. Exactly. They weren't stealing from the people using the code. They were stealing from other people who would like promote it, right? Any creator you wanted to support by using the affiliate link, yep, all that money just went to Honey. It is wild. And honestly, I can get like I can understand why it felt shady from the beginning. Because even my dad is like that. Like growing up, he'd always say like nothing in life is free. Always be careful if like someone tries to offer you that. There's always something. If you don't buy a product, you are the product. Exactly. That's basically social media. It was like that. I think that's like how it works, how it was from the beginning. Anything that is free, they're making money off of you. It's just not your money. While ads can be a bit annoying, I don't think they're the worst thing in the world because of ads, we have things like YouTube that is free. You don't pay for it. But at the same time, they kind of go a little crazy within, in my opinion. It's a business model, and like at the end of the day, I can understand even if I don't like it. This economy, honestly, even like someone who is like a creator, a lot of the okay, in the past, people would always like hate on celebrities and whoever if they take like brand deals and this. They'd always like, oh wow, what a sellout. But at the end of the day, doing that would allow them to get like a lot of money, and that's something I can respect. And a lot of people who are like, oh my god, this person is a sellout, I can't support them. If they were in that situation, they would have done the exact same thing 100% of the time. I think that's I saw some creators talking about Kick the other day. So Kick is bleeding money because it is basically held up by outside money. What is it? People from Stake? The gambling people, right? They're just pumping money into Kick to make it nice, to make it like the new Twitch. So as a result, a lot of creators, especially smaller ones, are getting really, really good deals and contracts that basically say, hey, stream on Kick and we'll give you this much money. And that's usually more than what they're earning on Twitch. And I understand some people aren't happy about that, but honestly, good for them. I would take that deal. I can be bought. And then as soon as it expires, we all move back here. Some of them, okay, in the past, what they would do is they'd be like, oh, you have to gamble for at least like an hour, and here is money to do it. That one I wouldn't agree with, but apparently some of the newer ones, they don't have that. But they also have to gamble a certain amount. That's what they used to do. Nowadays, it's just like, hey, this is a normal contract. You don't have to gamble, yada, yada, yada. I know that's how they used to be. And that's why I was a little bit skeptical. But apparently, some of the newer contracts that I saw, not included. It also seems very easy to kind of game the system because people get paid due to like an active chat. So if you just like bought the hell out of it and don't get caught, oh, whoops. Before I never understood like the appeal. Like at first, when people would talk about botting, I was just like, okay, sure, your viewer number go up, but like, who cares, right? At the end of the day, like it's empty, and that's just kind of like a bummer. But apparently, you can get like sponsors. You just show them your CCV and be like, hey, I have X amount of viewers. This is my CCV. And a lot of the deals apparently are you get X amount of money per like 100 viewers. It is the fake it until you make it. Honestly, true. Because if you have like a lot of in quote viewers, people who are just shopping around for new content to see, they will usually pick the ones which have like more viewers. Because at the end of the day, if more people are watching it, you will just assume that it's good. So, mm. See, I used to think that was the only benefit, and then I heard that people scam sponsors with it. Honestly, feels like a lot of work. There are more productive and ethical ways to make money. Honestly, I think if like money is your goal, content creation is probably not the way to go. Also, sponsors have been known to to game the charts on Twitch. Oh yeah, I heard about that. That is wild. But like I can kind of understand because they want to make it seem like so many people are like playing their game. I don't think it's right, but I can understand. And in the corporate world, things are very different. To them is morals and ethics are more of a loose thing. It's just whatever works, you know? Especially for free to play games. Exactly. I'm just remembering sorry, words are hard. I'm just remembering back when I was still in the corpo game. A lot of times it's like, hey, I don't think this is a problem. They would look at it and be like, yeah, but they're not gonna know. And I'm just like, okay, these are important documents. Another one was even like safety stuff. Like one of their products, they were like testing it out and I had gone along to like watch. And I was just like, I would never touch this thing. At the same time, I was supposed to sell it to people. Ubisoft's latest hack. I'm not too sure what happened with that one. All I heard was something to do with Rainbow Six Siege and people giving themselves like a ton of money. What happened there? Oh wait, sorry, you're talking about not an actual hack. So I did hear. I'm thinking something else. It was all part of the same hack. Oh, multiple groups joining together to do this. Honestly, I thought it was just like a little exploit, and then people went a little crazy with it. I think I saw like a 5 seconds of a short that tried talking about it, and then I scrolled away because I was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not interested. I didn't realize it was like such a major thing because the TLDR that I got is like, oh, people who play Rainbow Six Siege got like they put like so much fake money into their account, managed to buy things, yada yada yada. I'm like, I don't play Rainbow Six Siege. The in-game currency was likely a diversion. Oh, Well, I was reading a book and they're talking about an arsonist, and they were like, arson is usually a companion crime used to cover up other larger things. Like in that book, someone was committing murders, but then starting fires to like make, cover it up. So yeah, diversion. I thought they were panicking simply because if people have an unlimited amount of their fake money, then no one's just gonna buy their money with real money. To pull out 1 TB of data would take about 1 day with 2.5 gigabits internet. It would take a long time. If the math is wrong, that's okay. I read that and all I saw was will take 1 day, and I was like, huh. I think I'm very lazy when it comes to math, especially when we play D&D. Whenever my friends are like, okay, I add this one and add that one and add that one, this says like 30 something something, is that correct? I'm like, you tell me. Whatever you say, thumbs up. I only do that with the people who are min maxers. They really know how the game works. Because again, like I have hardcore players and I have like casual ones. The casual ones, I always like check the. It's all on Roll20, so the math is like done. I always just glance over, double check. Whereas my min maxer friends, they stitch together like 12 abilities in one hit. So I'm like, I have lost my train of thought on like a stacked ability number 3. Let's just skip to the end. What was I grabbing from here? Sun has a weird colored tongue. Hold on. I remember seeing it in the references. Speaking of D&D, the holidays means people are busy, so we didn't have our game last week. Very sad. That's why I'm glad I've been playing Divinity. It's been filling the hole in my heart. Ooh, my son Wally was limping randomly the other day, and I was like, I got kind of concerned because I didn't know what it was. At first, I thought he had a splinter because he was fine the night before. But when I woke up in the morning, I saw he was just holding his paw up. And when he started walking, he started kind of like hopping a little bit. Like he wouldn't put that foot down. Now, here in my room, they actually have like a little log that they scratch, and sometimes that like removes a bit of splinters. I try to clean it every day to make sure, things like that don't happen. But when I checked his paw, there was nothing. So I'm thinking, maybe he poked himself and removed it, or maybe he had a bad jump, and I don't know, didn't want to put like any pressure on it. So I was worried for him, and I was like, oh, do I have to take him to the vet? So I decided to give it like a day, and he kind of just stopped limping. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess he's fine. He's my baby boy. So it was always important. Yeah, cats are like kind of fragile creatures. Because a lot of times, when things happen, they happen very suddenly. So anytime anything is like up with my cats, I'm like, are you okay? Because the cat is not going to tell you. They're not like, yeah, cats are one of those animals where if something is not right, they just go, oh, it is my time. And then they go find a corner to just like curl up and pass on. They also can show weakness. Hmm. True. I don't think Julian has that problem. She is quite the fighter. She beat up both of the other house cats, 2-on-1. Like the other day, she was exploring, and I see her at the bottom of the stairs. Now, unfortunately, the two other house cats that belong to my housemates, they had like appeared and were sitting at the top of the stairs, and she wanted to come back to my room. So, what did she do? She started inching closer, inching closer. They started hissing, and I was like, oh, it's 2-on-1. I might have to back her up. So I went to get a pillow. She launched her attack. Next thing I know, she beat both of them up single handedly and they started running away. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to help them from her. So, yeah, and that was like the last time I let her out unsupervised. And I've just been keeping it in my room. I think I really think it's the weather. Because she has never been like this in like all the years that I've owned her. This all started late fall. I think it's the weather. Because also Wally is like a little bit odd. I noticed he's been eating like a lot more and he's actually gotten kind of chunky. So I'm like, his winter body's ready. I should get one of those like really bright lamps. I think, what is it called? Full spectrum lamps. Now, I don't know if they actually work or they're just very bright lights that, are sold as placebos. Is there like an official rating for them? Is some text that I can read? Because I think full spectrum light has more than just visible light. Or is it just like super, super bright? I don't know. Because one of my housemates has that. He showed me, and it was like crazy bright. But usually, if you're. Something I learned in my time in Malaysia is a lot of times people will not be the most honest when it comes to product specifications. They'd be like, yeah, yeah, of course it works. When it doesn't. So, am I making sense? I don't just buy it and then realize, oh, it's just a bright lamp that doesn't do anything. I'll have to do research. Ooh, one more weird thing my cat does. It is Julian. She she likes to sleep on my lap, but ever since she's been, a little bit irritable, she's gotten very demanding and gets upset when I try to like wake up and or like when I try to like get up and interrupt her sleep. She sometimes growls at me. She's like, "No, stay. You are pillow." But it's okay. She's adorable, so I forgive her. Hi, Hot Shack. Welcome on in. How's it going? Chill mostly. That's good to hear. Up to anything interesting? Besides editing, nothing much. Oh well, at least you're busy. I've been a little too busy lately. But fortunately, I think my January is pretty clear. Like when it came to like setting deadlines for commissions and stuff, I set basic I think just one of them in January. Was it this one? No, it was another one. All right. I think I only have like one that's due in January, and I was like, okay, after this, I'll take it easy this month. Need to relax, maybe do something fun. So yeah, I was busy alone. Lol. I don't know what that means. Why are you with family? Because I can understand. I love my family. I don't like living with them because I'm an introvert in a family of extroverts. So you can imagine. My ideal situation in the future would be to be their neighbor, but not live with them. Oh, whoops. So I put that on the wrong layer. I don't think most people here are live 2D artists. And the saddest thing about that is when I get excited and yap about certain things, no one understands. There was one time another artist had come in and they saw the way I was rigging the hair and they're like, "Oh, you using so and so technique for this is this? That's odd." And I got to jump into a very in-depth nerdy explanation of like, "Oh, I do this thing because it has like the X way. You see how it's moving side to side, and normally that stops you from bouncing up and down. But if you combine it with this other technique, you're able to bounce it up and down." And yeah, I just realized I really like yapping about it, and I was like, I can't do that here because most people don't do live 2D rigging. So like, I'm not one of those people who would like yap about things that you know. I try to talk with people rather than at people because I think that's a bad habit I used to have when I was much younger. Like I couldn't tell like if I'm yapping about something that I'm excited about that other people were not interested. So I try to be very aware of that. Oh, do you want to try getting into illustrations a bit more? Because it's just been a while. I feel like I have rigging pretty much set. I very rarely encounter problems. So I'm satisfied with my rigging skills. Art skills, I have improved, but not as much as rigging. So I think going forward, that's what I want to try doing. Best way to do that? Practice with illustrations. Okay, I think this guy is basically done. Do I reuse the same zip or... Hmm. No, I think they want a new zip. Oh well. I didn't see that. Well, I'm just gonna continue art while the ads are playing. I don't know if 3 minute ads are like too long. Well, I guess there's no point in asking because I assume most of you have the ads, so I'll just wait. Okay, ads are done. I was just wondering, are 3 minutes of ads a bit too long? Because initially, what I did was I set them from, okay, our two options are 1.5 minutes every 30 minutes, or 3 minutes of ads every hour. Now, initially, I was just thinking better to just get it all done with all at once and then not get interrupted because we'll just be yapping about something and then like ads pop up and it's kind of annoying. Hi, Fukura. I do 2.5 every 50 minutes. I hate the ad system. I wish there was a way to disable them. So far, what I do is like if we're playing a game or yapping about something fun and the ads come, I just like wait for them to finish, and then we pick up where we left off. But I'm just thinking because I saw another creator talking about it, and they're like, "Oh, they put 1.5 minutes every 30 minutes. That way, because they do something similar. They just wait. They talk to the people who are subbed, who don't have the ads, and then they continue afterwards. And they mentioned that 3 minutes is like a bit too long to sit through, but 1.5 happens very frequently. They're not even worth it, in my opinion. Ads make no sense in the partner. Honestly, yeah, like I don't get anything from them. I think per stream I get like 0.02 dollars. So yeah, like honestly, I wish I could just turn them off. The longer ads just helps for people jumping stream to stream. Should I set it to 1.5? Unless 2.5 is it's oddly specific. 0.1 cent per stream. Yeah. Apparently, they used to have an option like in ye olden times where you could turn off the ads, And then I think it realized everyone turned off ads and they were losing a lot of money. So they just very quietly, they didn't even tell people, they just turned them back on. I think they realized, oh shit. Well, it is what it is. You know what the perfect solution would be? Is that I just become super rich and then I buy everyone here gifted subs and then we never worry about it ever again. I don't even want to make money with Twitch, but I want emo channel points. Exactly. Like when I first started, I was like, guys, we need to make affiliate because I want to have emotes and then I can do all sorts of dumb shit there. You see, look, we have all sorts of stuff with the channel points. We have a bunch of redeems, and most importantly, hold on. See the dice? I want to be able to do dumb shit like that. If you roll a one, everyone explodes. But yeah, if it were not for, yeah, 50 redeems, 50 is the limit. There's a limit? No way. I also have a roll redeem based. Yeah, honestly, if you see the dice here, this one, Adris would normally jiggle. And I was like, huh, I've played Baldur's Gate. What if I can make it roll? And I spent several months trying to come up with like the way to make it work. I actually have a chart for this. Hold on. I won't bore you with the details, but I just want to show off like my insane thought process. So basically, the way it works, someone makes a redeem on Twitch. That redeem is detected by StreamerBot. StreamerBot launches one of 20 commands, 20 sided dice. It sends it to Mix It Up. Mix It Up has 20 sets of responses that it's listening for. It gets sent here. And then from here, sends out one of 20 different things that goes to VTube Studio, which detects it and then rolls one of 20 animations. So, yeah, this is the super simplified version of it. And do you know why I did this? I gave up on this. But I had one chat pop in every day, and the first thing they say whenever stream started was, they're like, "Hi, Ordi, where dice?" Every single time. Until one point, I was like, you know what? I'm clearing my schedule for the weekend. I am doing nothing but solving this. And it was like hitting your head against a wall until it broke. And eventually, I was victorious. It was super fun to do. I learned a lot about animations in Live 2D. But yeah, it was something. I would say this is like the most complicated thing I've ever rigged. But honestly, worth it. But like you get it as well. I don't want to monetize it. There are some people who do this for a living. I'm not one of them. I am an artist. All I want is for streams to be fun, and that's it. Meanwhile, me, I gave up on hair, side angles, and live D. Do you want to know something beautiful? Do you see this hair of mine? It takes like 5 minutes to do one strand. See? And the thing is, they actually don't deform. They just slide over each other. Hmm. It's like a deck of cards. By the way, if you ever have like live 2D questions, don't be shy. This is the place to ask, and this is where you can find me. I actually have like some people on the Discord who are just there, and then they just randomly pop up, pinging me and go like, "Hey, I have a question for live 2D. How do I cut this thing up?" And immediately, I love diving in and helping, simply because I know the struggle. I was there. I am self-taught live 2D artist. I have hit my head on my desk so many times, struggling to solve a problem, which, if you know, takes 2 seconds to do. I don't want people to go through that. Like, for example, someone came in and they're like, "Oh, I'm struggling to rig my hair." I'm like, "My sweet summer child, say no more." I literally pull up the PSD of my model. I take this middle strand of hair. You see the one like in between my eyes? I take that one. I'm like, okay, to rig hair, you have your piece. You do this, you do skinning, you do that one. And then within 10 minutes, we're literally done. And it's rigged the exact same way. Sways left and right, up and down. See? You know, if someone is a VTuber, right? One of the best skills you can have. I have no idea how to copy paste or rig keyframes, and copy paste hotkey doesn't work. Control C will copy the art mesh, the piece. Hold on, you know what? I'm booting up live today. Actually, I'll even show you the hair thing. Hold on, it's loading. Anyway, I'm very excited about teaching live today. I actually have this thing here. Hold on. It's called Ordi Teaches Live today. Apparently, it's the most people see me excited. Apparently, I give off that energy. Okay, so um, hair. If you do Control C and Control V, you copy the art layer. But hold on, hold on. It's hair M. But if you want to copy the keyframe, oh, oops, I copied everything. If you want to copy the keyframe, you just do Control Shift C and then Control Shift V. You see it like shifted? It means I pasted it. So yeah. I make the doodle models and they have the same form, size, but different art layer. I think I saw your Yeah, I saw your video on your doodle mascot actually. Okay, that this is how you do it. This one's a bit has a lot more pieces. Let me switch to Goldie's model. He's our guinea pig today. I wonder if he's still here. If you are, thank you for your sacrifice. Okay, let us make 2 copies. Hold on. Save as test. Okay, so we have 2. They told you the keybind, but it doesn't work? I remember there's an option for keys. Okay, I think it's here. Oh wait, you don't see it on stream, but I think this is the one. Hold on, let me see. Is this the one? Let's copy open. Control Shift C. Okay, so that works. Modeling, edit form, paste form. Okay, so I would show you, but have no license. Oh, okay, do you see up here? Top left. Do you see it says modeling? So what you do is you take your key form, say you want to copy smiling. Wait, this is test one. Let's open the other one. If the keybind doesn't work, there is a way to like set the shortcuts. I remember seeing this. Was it for this app or something else? Anyway, say we want to copy this key form. Or let's be specific and say we want to copy. Yeah, let's just say we want to copy this key form. You select it. Normally you do Control Shift C and it copies, or you can go up here that says modeling. A window will pop up. You go down to one that says edit form. Write this down. Edit form, and then you'll see copy form. So you click copy form. We go over to our other model, which is exactly the same. Go here, modeling, edit form, paste form, and it pastes. As simple as that. Also, I don't know if even if the art mesh is not identical, no, I think it'll have to be identical. What you can do, however, if the art mesh is not, if the piece looks similar but is not identical, what you can do is you can click this one over here, manual edit mesh, and then select the thing, Control C, go to whatever you want, edit the mesh again, delete this one, and then paste it in with Control V. But yeah, I accidentally copied two of them, so it didn't work. But yeah, if the art meshes are not identical, you can make them identical. Anyway, this has become a live 2D tutorial stream. Thank you all for joining my class. Ooh, and you said you had trouble with hair. Um, you don't have to deform it. Like for example, this is a lot of lines. Ignore that. This is like 1, 2, 3. When they move to the side, they actually don't deform. They just slide over each other. You see that? They give like the illusion. I think it comes with practice. Like before, I used to struggle with a lot of stuff with Live 2D, but as the more you do it, the more you realize, oh, this one tiny thing will affect that other thing like so far away, and then it just like it comes naturally to you. But yeah, hair is easy. Like for example, can I rig hair real quick? Where's the piece? Okay, say we want to make this piece of hair. Yeah, say you want to rig this one. This works with the. It doesn't work with the free version, unfortunately. But yeah, what you do is you just take like this thing, you make the little bends. What is this tool called? Deform path, right? So you make it wiggle like that. You go to the art mesh looks already like it'll take me 20 minutes. Wait, are you manually? There's a button up here. Do you see this one that says auto? Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let's take this from the top. When you load in an art mesh, it'll basically look like that, right? What you can do is you just click this button that says auto. Okay, so you're familiar with auto mesh. Oh, thank God. I'd been like, how would you have? Ah, yeah. Auto mesh is weird most of the time. Usually, Heavy is the way to go. I actually have one that's called super heavy for certain things. Like this is what super heavy looks like. Hold on. I I very rarely use it because it makes things lag if you do it like too much. But I save that mostly for like lips and things that I'll do auto, but not you do it by hand. Oh, did you know? Do you have like this tool? Hold on. So you're modifying this one. Hmm. Can we delete it if it's glued? Yeah. Do you know that this tool exists? And then you can like change the settings here. Did you know of this one? What's it called? Stroke mesh mapping. I discovered this, I think, like live on stream one time, and it has been a life changer. Pain Dio. I did not trust me. It's this thing up here. Oh, and also after you're done, you actually have to click confirm stroke. Otherwise, like it'll get erased. So yeah, if you ever want to dive back into rigging, feel free to ask. I'm happy to help. I know the struggle of trying to figure it out. Most of the times, it's just like I will take one look and be like, "Oh, you need to click these two things, and your problem is solved." Other times, if it's like a lot more complicated, I'll be like, "Oh, these are some guides that talk about how to solve it. Good luck," you know. So yeah, don't worry too much about it. Just earlier, right? I was talking about how not enough people learn live 2D, and I kind of like yap about it because if people aren't live 2D artists, they don't know what I'm yapping about. So I'm like, you know what? More people should learn live 2D, and I think I want to spread the word, spread the gospel. More people should more people should pick up live 2D as a skill, and from there, I will have people to yap about it with. Got all my knowledge from trial and error and tutorials. Some English, some German ones. I've only seen English ones. But yeah, I have several years of trial and error, and a lot of times I accidentally stumble into like new things. Like for example, the hair thing. What I do is I use skinning to make it sway left and right, but for up and down, I'm trying to select the hair. But for up and down, each individual piece, yeah, each individual piece here has a deformer. Most German ones were when Live 2D was new and everyone was doing their own thing, also trial and error. Oh, yeah, tutorials have gotten way, way, way better. That I can promise you. Like, I was there from the beginning. I don't know when the beginning was, but like, I started, I think, what, 2021? Something like that. And yeah. Actually, I don't think you've seen my first model. You know what? Let me bring it up. I used to be very shy about it and would, never bring it up. But I'm like, you know what? Let me just embrace where I started, so people can see how far I've come. Hold on, I think I saved it as an asset. Hmm. No, I saved it as a model. Hold on. There's this thing here. Yeah, this is my first model. Ta-da! It's this is back when I was learning art as well, like uh, th- starting a digital art and rigging at the same time. So I was like, This is one I've never used before. I was mostly just learning the software. And then we have today's model. Ta-da! This is about 4 years of learning live today. Let me switch back before. This isn't even a before. Let me just switch back. I missed my teacup model. I got real good. Thank you. My start was when I waited 9 months for my rigger without any contact. They ghosted me, and I was like, "Fluff it, I'll do myself." I hope you didn't pay them, because like there's so many horror stories. Nope. Okay, perfect. Yeah, there are way too many horror stories, and honestly, it's getting like worse. In fact, like just the other day, there was someone who was trying to impersonate me and steal like my past clients' models that are already done. So basically, what they did was they went onto my profile and my portfolio, and they made one which just looked exactly like it on Discord, and they would find out who had previously commissioned me, and they'd start DMing them, and they'd be like, "Hey, it is I, Ordi, yada yada yada." They'll start talking about like, how are you doing, what's up, that stuff, and then they'd be like, "Hey, can I have the model files from when we did our project together because I lost them and I want to build my portfolio?" Nonsense. Now, fortunately, no one fell for that because after a while they're like, "This feels weird," and then they checked it out and they realized, "Oh, this is not the real Ordi." And that actually inspired me to make this. Let's see. I call it Ordikai's Guide to Not Getting Scammed because a lot of people don't know what to look for. This one doesn't say which are the scams that exist. This one is more of this is what scammers will eventually try to lead you to do, right? So I always recommend use VGen. This is if you don't know artists personally, like you're just like entering the scene, you don't know who is who. If you have a friend who's an artist and you want to commission them and they're not on VGen, wonderful. But if you're only interested in getting the model, yeah, VGen, uh, this is how scammers get you. They're like, "Oh, don't pay me on VGen, pay me on PayPal." Best case scenario, it is that artist who's just like going against TOS of VGen and accepting payments outside of the platform. But yeah, what are important ones? Ones that apply to everyone is this: never said friends and family, right? And for those who are unaware, on PayPal, you can avoid transaction fees by saying, "Oh, this is my homie, this is my family. I'm just giving him like $20 that I owed him." They don't put the fees, and what ends up happening is you're not allowed to charge back. Yeah, normally on PayPal, if someone scams you, you can just like click, "Oh, this is a scam, give me back my money," and PayPal helps you. They're really good with that. Sometimes too good because they do that even if it's not a scam. But anyway, if they ask, "Hey, friends and family," you say no. Too many people. They said this. They feel bad for the artist because they're like, "Oh, it takes money from me. I get paid less. Yada yada yada." You know, never do this. Most important one. Mm, yeah, this one I added. This one is new because I have never seen that one before, where they pretend to be you and basically go for like your past clients. That was wild. Like I'd never seen that before. It is creative. At the end of the day, even if you don't know what the new scams are, so long as you follow like the set ones, this is an important one. Because someone was talking to me about like their rigger ghosting them, and what they did was they set the deadline after the chargeback policy expires. So so they're not able to charge back even even if like they're like, "Oh, this is 100% a scam." So yeah, I think I put this in the EU server as well as mine. But yeah, it's like a to-do list. It's just a checklist of I'm going to commission someone and I know nothing about scams. I made this for people who don't really understand internet scams. It's not even going to be like, oh, if someone asks you about like this, that's usually a scam. There's too many of them. And at the end of the day, new ones will pop up, and we can't just keep making this list infinitely long. But yeah, oh, I posted this on Reddit and I got like the weirdest response. Someone is like, "Oh, this is really good, but you should like break it up into like individual posts and make it like an album because some people will see wall of text and like gloss over it." And I'm like, if people can't look at a basic guide on how not to get scammed and they get scammed, nothing more I can do for them. It's always funny when bots and scammers send you random friend requests on Discord, pretend to be friends, and then ask if you'd like to look at their AI stolen portfolio. Ooh, yeah. In fact, one time, I'm on this server. I think it's like EN VTubers. It's one of those ones which are just like, hey, all VTubers come together, find people to collab with, yada yada. There are 1,000 of them. This is one I joined like in ancient times before like VTubers really took off. It's I don't even think it's like a good server. It's mostly filled with like V tweeters. But yeah, that's beside the point. Now, why don't I leave this server? Because it is full of scammers, right? In the sense that scammers go there, they do what you've just described. They send you a friend request, usually pretending to be someone else. And last time that happened to me, someone reached out, they were chatting like, oh, I want to just like make friends here, and they're giving me that whole nonsense. And the whole time I was like, something feels off. I don't like this. This is a scam. And I was just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Now, I was expecting them to like try and sell me like art commissions and stuff, but this one was way more sneaky. So what they did basically was like, oh, I remember when I started out, I used this platform that really helped me grow my numbers. I don't remember what it was called. I think it was this. Anyway, it's a lot to explain, but like you can just search them up. They tried to play it off super casually, you know? Because most people who like try to sell you things, like people instantly clock them as, scammers. But this one was like, oh, here's something that I used. If you want to use it as well, and you can see I'm like a medium sized streamer, it worked for me, it'll work for you. I think it was like a view botting platform that they advertised. So yeah, the reason I don't leave that server is because I'm basically bait, and as soon as one of those people like reach out to me because they go to the server, they're like, oh, these are all new VTubers. Let me try and sell them view botting stuff, and then they just go and send random friend requests to whoever's in that server. I know it's from there because I click on their name and it says mutual servers. It's that one. So uh, I sit there, I wait for all of these scammers to try come for me. I gather enough evidence and then I send it to the mods of that server. And I'm just like, oh, by the way, there's a scam in your thing, blah, blah, blah. Here they are. Here's the evidence. And I close the ticket. And pretty soon that person is kicked. And people who would be vulnerable, who would fall for it, are protected. And that is my charity. And I see zero mutual friends and one mutual server. I ignore slash block. Probably wise. I don't know. I'm just a very introverted cat. So I don't know. It depends on yeah. Like if it's like a friend server or one that's like more close knit, like not a random public server with like 1,000 people. Yeah, I can understand that. But yeah, I think I'm just a very introverted cat, so I don't like reach out to people on Discord. And when people reach out to me, I feel strange and I run and hide. But then again, most people don't. Because, for example, how do you say this? If it's commission related, most people reach out on VGen. I've never had someone interested in commissions and then they reach out on Discord. Because my Discord is like not public. Actually, in fact, I had to. The reason why, if you go on like VGen, you see like I've added in the links a Discord is because one of my past clients who was telling me about the scammer impersonating me, he's like, oh, this person reached out. It felt odd. So what I did was I went to your Twitch. I clicked on community Discord, and I found the real you. And I saw this was a different one. I was like, ah, okay, so that's not the real Ordi. Now, not everyone will take those many steps and investigate that much. So what I did was I'm like, let me just put this out here, so that if someone finds it suspicious, there's an easy way for them to like find the real account. If someone is on my friend's server but not friends with that person, well, I don't get random friend requests from non-scammers, so yeah, I'm not experienced in that area. At most, it's if I've like talked to people who are like on a mutual server and then they add me afterwards, like I don't feel strange. But if it's like first point of contact, I have no idea who that person is, and then they randomly reach out, I'm like, that raises flags. Yep. In fact, it's like such a problem that recently, whenever I join like other people's streams and like yap and stuff, I actively avoid mentioning that I am an artist or anything of the sort. Like, even if it's like relevant to the conversation. If they're like, "Oh, if there's any artists here, do you can?" and they like ask a question, um, maybe it's like an opinion thing. They're not asking for help. I don't respond because most of the time someone mentions that they're an artist in a chat, it is majority of the time a scammer. And I don't want to accidentally be pegged as one. So yeah. It's also the same with how do you say this? What are the right words? Well, never mind that. But yeah, I basically never mentioned that I'm an artist in someone's chat because I don't want people to see, point, and be like, bot, kill it, you know? Anyway, welcome to my stream. We pretend to do art while in reality we just yap here. You know, in the past, people would feel guilty about distracting me from my work. So I want to point it out that hey, I do a lot of my work during the day and I stream at night, which means I have been productive during daylight hours. So here I'm mostly just doing a little bit of light work, maybe finishing up some stuff, but mostly to just hang out and yap. I am a full learned graphical assistant and had that in my Twitter bio until I realized, wait, that sounds scammy. Yeah. May God bless all of those people who are actual graphic designers, but everyone sees them and thinks they're bots. Nothing I can do, no solutions I can offer. Good luck. You know, back in my day, like 4 years ago, you could just go on Twitter and be like, "Hey, I have VTuber commissions open. If anyone wants to commission me, uh, DM me." And you would actually get people asking to commission you. You know, that's how it used to be. And then everything went down the toilet when it was bought by Elon. And when VTubing started getting popular, more and more people realized, oh, this is something a lot of people want. I can start scamming them. So what happens when something becomes popular? Exactly. It used to be so niche that the only people who would be searching for it would be real clients, and what they would find would be real artists. So I had to adapt. In fact, when I started streaming, one of the number one reasons, like at the top of the list, is how do I prove that I'm not a scammer? So previously, so I like VJ is the safest way for VJ at the moment. Exactly. And the greatest thing about it is more and more artists are, more and more people are going on it. So what that means is that you will find artists who are doing like a little bit of everything. Before you could only find like VTuber related stuff, maybe a few illustrations, but now you can even find things like voiceover work. I mean, even on VGen, I got scammed with AI stuff. Oh, I hope you reported them because like it's a VGen is not the most foolproof thing, but it's a lot harder to like enter. You need like an invite code, and all what that means is scammers can't just like make an account, run a scam, and then once they get caught and the account is closed down, they just make a new one. They can't do that on VGen. Codes aren't that easy to get. At most, they could run it like once or twice. The main people who use it are people who are probably real artists and then realized, oh, okay, wait, sorry, let me finish that thought. I get distracted easily. uh, the people who do scams on VGen are probably started out as real artists and then shifted to faster, quicker ways to make like a buck. Okay, let me read. I sent you that thing on Discord. Can you tell me if it's AI? Now, I am no expert. Wait, where was it sent? Oh, okay, I see it. Hold on. A random friend request. Two mutual servers. It's not one, so this must be the real Fukuro. Okay, let me see. Hmm. It's kind of hard to tell. At most, I know what to look. Ow, elbowed the wall. I know what to look for. Hmm. I know what to look for if it's AI generated, but if it's traced, that is like really, really hard to do. If it is, I can tell you. The eyes do see. Okay, can I show this on stream, or is that like okay? So this is the art, pretty adorable. The one thing I noticed, I was looking for the usual signs of like shadows in the wrong places and yada yada yada. But like I was saying, most people who use AI on VGen are people who are real artists. And what a lot of them do is they just gen AI an image and then they trace over it. They do it makes them work like way, way, way faster. And they're basically just tracing over the AI work. Now, the problem is most real artists know like how to shade properly and can count to five. So one, two, three, four, five. But someone who is tracing, they get sloppy and they start copying things that shouldn't be there. One thing that I noticed is the eyes are a little strange, right? So they're not looking at the same position. Let me extend this. Now, does this mean this is AI? No, because people are human and humans make mistakes all the time. But what this feels like is the eyes are doing this. Feels like one is looking like this. Let me change the color. It feels like one is looking like this. and the other one is looking like that. Do you see what I mean? Now, could this be a human mistake? Maybe. Hmm. If I traced a lot in the past, and one time I traced over an AI thing. You know what my take on tracing is? Tracing work is not bad if you're using it to learn and you never present it as your own. In fact, there is I think it's on the furry Reddit. When you post art, there is a tag that says how do you say this? It says like, hey, this is I drew this, but this is traced, and then you have to link the original work. That is okay because you're not stealing it and saying like, hey, this is mine before it, because if you basically go and say, hey, this is something someone else made and I try to recreate it to like learn, that's okay, that's respectable. A lot of people actually learn to draw by tracing. The problem arises if you're like, hey, this is something that I made all by myself and it is mine, and worse off if you try to make money off of it. Never sold anything like that, only for me. Honestly, it's fine. If you credit like the original work, no one can get mad. There will always be someone who is mad because this is the world we live in. In fact, there's some people who think using a reference is considered stealing, and that is like crazy. Hi Goldie, welcome on. We're trying to decide if this is AI generated slash traced. So far, the only problem I see with it is like the eyes are a little wonky. I don't think it's generated, maybe traced. It was finished 2 hours after I commissioned that person. Hmm. That's crazy fast. If you had said 2 hours after they said work in progress, I would have played devil's advocate because sometimes I am almost halfway done with the model before I realize I haven't set it to work in progress on VGen. So to them, they'll just get a notification, hey, your thing is being worked on. Hey, your thing is now done. So, but you said you commissioned them 2 hours later. Hmm. Either they're crazy fast and had nothing to do that day. I'd recommend reporting it and just being like, hey, I think this is the case. This is the evidence, but I'm no expert. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. They'll probably make a report. Even then, who watches their inbox all the time? That is true. In fact, that's why I have multiple emails. The thing is, if it is an AI, I'd feel so bad. That's okay. Here's what I see happening. If you make a report, I don't think you should like click the report button. You could probably email them and be like, hey, I think this is what's going on, but I'm not sure. I wanted to bring this to your attention. And maybe you guys could like keep an eye on this in case there's other similar stuff. But I can't say for sure, and I don't want like an authentic artist to like get in trouble. I'm not asking for a refund. I just want you guys to like keep an eye on this just in case. And you basically give them all the evidence that you have, and then you're like, you pass it on to them so you don't deal with it, you know? Does that make sense? It did cost like €8. I decided to let it be. Honestly, understandable. Hmm. It is a tricky thing. If you don't care enough, maybe just shrug vaguely and let it be. Honestly, I just think the eyes are a bit strange, but this could be a human error. So yeah, it'd be tough out there because it's really, really, really hard to tell, especially these days. They call it like the modern day witch hunts because I've seen like some artists who like they've been artists for like a crazy long time and they have like certain styles, but a lot of those styles have been used by Gen AI. And what ends up happening is people see that and they go like, "Oh, this style looks like it was stolen from AI art." Oh, hi everyone. Thanks for the raid. Welcome on in, everyone. We are doing live 2D art and yapping about AI art and how it is bad. So, welcome on in, everyone. Those who don't know, I am Ordi, I am Purple, I am Cat. My dice rolls, and I do live 2D and art. That's a lie. I mostly just yap here. Welcome on in. What are you guys up to? So cute. Thank you. It's gonna be a little mascot like the ones you see at the bottom corner. And this one is sitting on someone's head, so that's why he's down here. Anyway, that's what we're supposed to be doing. We were actually trying to decide whether oops, this is AI generated or traced over a generated image. And I can't tell because I see like some errors, but I'm like, this could be human errors or it could just be sloppy copying, tracing. Thoughts? I just feel like the eyes are a bit strange, but that could be a human error. I've been drawing my views as chibis. Ah, that's so cute. Hmm. Maybe we should do that one day. Ooh, I did see like another artist. I think they have this viewer of the month kind of thing to do. Sorry, view of the month a thing they have on their streams, and they have like the little mascots like you see down here. See like this one. So what they do is like if you win viewer of the month, what ends up happening? Uh, can I post a link with the sketch? Sure. So what ends up happening is if you win viewer of the month, you basically get your own customized version of this thing. So it's like this with a hat, maybe like if you're like a creator and have like an art persona, maybe even just a picture of yourself, then yeah, you get like a little custom one, which is so cute. Content not available. I live in the UK and I refuse to verify my age, so I can't see that. Sorry. Meowdy Stinky. Hi, Kay. Welcome on in. So yeah, that's what we were. The UK debuff honestly is spreading to everything. Was it a mistake to move here? I don't think so. Okay, my only options were I either stay in Malaysia where it is terrible to be a foreigner simply by like government law and policies and stuff. It is like it is rough, right? We won't get into it. Um or I could go back to my home country, which is a terrible third world place to live with maximum 50 Mbps internet and unreliable power. So I was like, the UK is the lesser evil. Let me not say that too loudly. I have British housemates. Thanks for the follow. Welcome on in. 80% sure it's AI trace. If you want to, okay, if you feel like you want to do something, I would recommend not reporting, but asking staff saying like, hey, I feel a bit weird about this. Explain that you're not looking for a refund or whatever. Just be like, I want you guys to know about this. And maybe they have like a more experienced team that can like check through things. Like they will know what they're looking for. Maybe they're more qualified than us. So yeah, that's if you want to do something. Reporting may be like a bit much if you're not sure. I'm a innocent until proven guilty kind of person. UK seems not the best place to live in right now. Okay, I'm going to be completely honest, right? I've not disclosed my global spawn point, so I'm trying to think very carefully. You know how people have different levels of standards? So what is considered low by EU and Western standards? What is considered like a low place to live? By comparison, in a lot of other places in the world, is considered higher standard. It's far from perfect, but it could always be a lot worse. That I can tell you. Yes, what Kay said. Which I assume is Latin for innocent till proven guilty. And I used to do for D&D, whenever I want like names or stuff, I'd always Google like the word in Latin. Unfortunately, a lot of English is derived from Latin. It means innocence proves nothing is from Warhammer 40k. Well, I was tricked. I'll say I was walking through the mall. I saw they actually had a store just selling Warhammer stuff. I was like, I actually have a Warhammer game. Where? I'm not going to tell you where I live. But yeah, it's a store. It literally just says Warhammer on top. I need the plastic crack. No. I had a I had a Warhammer game. Honestly, I want to do gaming streams every Friday. So I have cracked open my Epic Game Store, which is full of games which I have never played. I remember seeing Warhammer somewhere here. Would you guys show up for Lawn Mowing Simulator? I probably won't play that. Mm, be cheaper to get a 3D printer. Oh yeah. If Is it legal? No. Is it wrong? Who's to say? Power washing was popular a few years back. Ooh, yeah. What's it called? Wait, power washing was the one you're in space and it's that meat horror game, right? Stone Simulator went. Is that a real game? Okay, I have these two. I think you are thinking of oh, sorry, I was thinking of mouth washing. Oh, power washing simulator. Yeah, okay. I remember seeing some people playing that. It was like a I think it's considered like a very nice chill yapping game. I think it's the kind of game like you just grab one or two people and while you guys are like doing that, you're just like podcasting essentially. You can do nothing there. Oh wait, I think I know the game you're talking about. Is that the one where you're just a rock in quotes and you're like by a river and all you can do is just sit there? I know of that one. I saw someone like bashing on it. So I was like, you can easily just make this. Oh, we have ads. So who doesn't have ads? I put like a topic reminder because what would happen previously is I'm like, oh, we're talking about something, right? We're talking about something. I'm like, oh, we have ads. Let us continue. Once the ads are done, by the time the ads are finished, I've completely forgotten and no one can remember. And I'm full with ad blocker, but got turbo. Okay, perfect. I'm not alone here. Ow. See, this is what I mean. I hate ads. See the little gif in the corner? You know what I used to do in the beginning? It was from wrestling, right? I don't know who he is. That guy who basically owns like WWE. It was basically him like rubbing and sniffing money, and it just says capitalism noises. But that ended up being a lie because I don't actually make money off of the ads. I like sniffing money. Honestly, I can think of nothing worse. I hate physical cash. Physical cash is like the nastiest thing in the world to me. It is it has touched the hands and probably the genitals of hundreds, if not thousands of people in its lifespan. The last thing I want to do is to touch it with my own hands. So, now am I one of those people who believe money should be digital? Hell no. I like physical currency. I don't like touching physical currency. I hope that makes sense. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Mitch. I read that as McMoney, which I thought would have been like the greatest name. But I think that's the guy, yeah. On them fully titanium builds. Wasn't there a country that wanted to bring back gold? Because before, the reason inflation wasn't that big of a deal is because like $1 would equal X amount of gold. And gold is limited. You can't like print more gold. It's called the gold standard. The gold standard, yeah. Wasn't there a country that wanted to bring that back? I've like never physical money on me, and if I have, it doesn't feel like I got any only numbers in the bank account for me. You know, I used to feel the opposite way because like money on a screen, numbers on a screen didn't feel like real money. But like spending money, like taking the cash and handing it to someone has that feeling of like I have now lost this. Like when I was a uni student, I would actually withdraw cash and keep it in my wallet, and then like as I go around, if I need to buy anything, I pay in cash. You know, this is the best strat to have. If you only use like a card or whatever, withdraw money anyway. I usually like to keep like maybe like 50-ish pounds in my wallet, and I never use it, so that if I'm buying something and then my card doesn't work, because sometimes that happens for no reason, I actually have cash on me. I'm like, oh, it's okay. How? So if I have cash on me, I'd be like, oh, it's okay. My card isn't working, but can I pay with cash instead? And usually they say yes, and then problem solved. Rather than, oh, my card is not working. I guess I'm gonna have to put stuff back. You know. These days, I mostly use my card, but at the same time, I think it's important to just like have physical cash just in case. Right. Sorry. Before we move on, what is the topic? Stone Simulator. So I saw someone actually like talking about it, and they were like, "Oh, this is basically like a Steam slop, where someone just spends like an hour dragging a bunch of assets, dumping it in." Oh, hi, squirrel. We're talking about crappy games on Steam, namely Stone Simulator. But yeah, apparently you can just make that be like, haha, this is a joke game. It's for $1, and people will be like, oh, that's so stupid. I'm gonna buy it. And then they buy it. They're like, that's a waste of money, and then they never think about it again. The person who made it walks away with some cash. Hi, Ordy. Welcome on in. But yeah, I like games that are very chill that I can yap as well. But at the same time, if nothing is going on in the game, I think I would be bored. We, I think the closest thing, I think the closest thing to like a super chill game was, I think it's called House Flipper or something like that. I played it once and I got bored, and then we never touched it again. What else do I have? I think I had. Did I have Goat Simulator? I feel like I owned Goat Simulator, but that may have been for the PS4. Hmm. Hmm. I got Hogwarts Legacy. I got it for free, but I don't think I want to play that on stream. I know, like, what's her name? That J.K. Rowling has said some very nasty stuff, and most people are kind of boycotting everything Harry Potter related. But if I got it for free, I think that's fine. But I don't think that'll stop crazy people. So yeah, I don't think I'll do that on stream. It's a long game to play. I have started playing Divinity Original Sin 2. Is the game that came out before Baldur's Gate 3, made by the same people. I have been loving that. I have just started. Once I finish it, I'll probably need to fill the void in my heart. So it might be a good second. I considered playing Divinity on stream, and I was like, no, I have fun. Like, I enjoy doing dumb bullshit. Yeah, just dumb bullshit. That probably would be very frustrating to watch because I will spend like 30 minutes setting up barrels to block an exit and create a maze so that the enemies come out one by one and I can just kill them easily because I play tactician mode. People one shot me. So I have to be like a little rat. Can't wait for the new Divinity game. Oh yeah, we were talking about it at the beginning of the stream. Like, I was gonna put the trailer on, but then I was told it was graphics. I'm like, okay, it's not an 18 plus stream, and I don't want to get in trouble with Twitch, so I just put the link in the chat. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch this. You guys can watch along too. And when I read graphic, I just thought there was gore, people being ripped apart, but nope, there was nudity, people doing the nasty, people being burned alive. I was like, huh, I'm glad I didn't put this on stream. I have Dragon Age Inquisition. I heard good things about Dragon Age. I have Dead by Daylight, but I don't think I could ever play it. But speaking of games next year, Witcher 4 is coming out. Really? Hold on. Witcher 4. I loved 3. Hold on. Witcher 4 release date. Will not be released before 2027. Crap. No, I feel your pain. You see, the good thing about ignorance is it is blissful. If I didn't know about this, I wouldn't be looking forward to it. I like to discover games are coming out very shortly before they come out. It's okay, just cryogenically freeze yourself so you don't have to wait. The original Dragon Age games were fun. Which one is this? This one is. Hold on. This is the one that I have. This is the one I have. Apparently, there's new DLC for 3 this year, as well as the Time to 4. Okay, I owned Witcher 3 on my PS4. I don't have a PS4 anymore. I sold it. I sold it to buy the PS5, and then, like, okay, this is how I wanted to, like, this is me min maxing my money. Before the PS5 came out, I had a PS4 and I was thinking, when 5 comes out, this thing is going to drop in value and become worthless. And I really want a 5. So what I did was, I think like 7 months before the 5 came out, I sold my 4 for a really good price. And I was like, I could basically trade in the 4 for the 5. The thing is, this was when I was a uni student and I was like crazy busy. And I was like, I spent 6 months without a console and I realized I did not miss it a single bit. And I'm like, I don't think I even want a 5 anymore. So I just saved the money. I think I bought a new phone. So yeah, I don't have The Witcher 3 anymore. As long as we don't get another bad Pokemon game next year, I have never been into Pokemon. The only Pokemon things that I have played are, what's it called? Pokemon Go and Cobblemon, the Minecraft mod. Wait, that's an option? Wait, what are you talking about? Sorry, because I read these things one by one. Camel Lurk, well, thanks for stopping by. Wait, what was an option? Because if it's the selling the console, yeah. I think my housemates used it more than I did. I also saw this one. This would have been great for Halloween. The Callisto Protocol. It's basic. Okay, I saw this. Maybe it has a lot of original stuff, but all I could see was Dead Space. Maybe that's what they were going for. Maybe it's made by the same people. I don't know. But it's basically, I saw it and was like, this probably plays like Dead Space, horror game. Made by the same people? No wonder. I think that's the second game or third one for Dragon Age, yeah. In that case, it's probably good. Made by the same people, didn't live up to it. Oh, okay. It was free, so I'm not gonna judge it too harshly. That's all I can see now. Yeah, I would see the gameplay, I would see the plot. They're like, oh, these things are mutated. Oh, shoot the limbs, shoot the tentacles. I was like, this is just Dead Space, isn't it? But I don't say that as a bad thing. Dead Space was a great game. I think people were expecting Dead Space, but it wasn't the same. My memories of Dead Space was not actually playing it, but watching my brothers play it. Sorry, older brother play it. My younger one, no, he would never do that. I think at the time only my older brother was brave enough to play the horror games. But yeah, that's why I know about Dead Space. And the one scene that sticks with me to this day is the elevator scene. I think you enter an elevator, the door closes, and you're like, wow, you're safe, you can catch your breath, calm down, relax. And then one of them like breaks into the elevator shaft and you have to like fight it in there. And since then, I have never trusted the safety of an elevator scene. The cutscene I remember is the eye scene. Ooh, I don't remember that one. I only saw a little bit of the beginning gameplay. I haven't seen all of it, but I did watch like a 3 hour long video on YouTube of some guy info dumping about the plot and the lore and everything, because that is what I like to watch on YouTube while I'm doing my work. Okay, watch is a strong word. I keep it on my second monitor and it was a quick time event and I remember if I remember and failing would cause death. I hate quick time events that like result in death because sometimes you put the controller down to like maybe get a bite of food and then you have to like scramble to grab it in time. That's my opinion on QuickTime events. Like if it's a cinematic and then it switches to QuickTime, I don't like that. But if it's like combat gameplay and then it switches to QuickTime, your hand's already on the controller. You're already, how do you say this? You're ready to push buttons, so it's fine. Like Heavy Rain, is that a game? I'm not familiar. Yeah, on PS3. I've actually never heard of that one. You should have been here for our nostalgic games yapping session because we were talking about PS2 games. In fact, like on Friday, what we were playing was Soul Reaver. I think that came out on what, PS1? It's got a bad side. I mean, it's okay. Yeah, because it is like early for you. You're in Australia, so it's very rare for Australians to be here. So whenever one pops up, it is a pleasant surprise. 8 a.m. Ah, okay. Okay. Heavy Rain, PS3. 4 protagonists involved in a mystery of the origami killer. Hmm. I've never seen this one. You know what game we were yapping about before in a previous stream? One that is very. Hold on. One that is very dear to my heart. It is this one. Hold on, I'm getting a better image. It is Mercenaries 2 World in Flames. I love this game because you can basically blow up everything. It's got lots of quick time events, but choice and consequence will dictate who lives, who dies. Ooh, I love games like that. Like that's one of the reasons I like a Baldur's Gate. It doesn't have the most extensive choices, but you have a lot of agency, like on a limited path. You will always get to the same destination, but at the end of the day, you choose how you get there. Hold on, I'm filling my water bottle. I have 2 water bottles, one giant one, which is difficult to drink out of, and the smaller one, which when it runs out, I fill it with the larger one because it's a small sports bottle. But Baldur's Gate 3 is amazing. Where are you walking around your house? No, no, no. I have 2 bottles next to me. But the thing is, the large one is like 2 liters, and to drink from it, I need to use both hands, otherwise it could fall. But yeah, I remember I was on video call with my mom, and then she saw me as I was reloading my water bottle, and she looked at me weirdly. She's like, "Why don't you just drink from the big one?" I was like, "That's a lot of work, and sometimes I'm using I want to drink water while doing work. I don't know, pause, go down, use both hands to drink, and then switch back to work. I want uninterrupted." Yeah, but yeah, Baldur's Gate. I loved it. I didn't like playing it a second time. It's one of those games that I love to experience for the first time, which is why to fill that gap, that hole in my heart, I've been playing Divinity Original Sin 2. It was also on sale recently. It is basically the Baldur's Gate before Baldur's Gate. It's not as good. Way lower budget, I can imagine. At that, but just didn't get into it. Honestly, it is a very different system, and I have been loving it. I struggled. I am the kind of cat who ignored the tutorials, went straight for tactician mode, and had no idea how to play with the action point system. It took me a very long time to manage to level up, and I had to be a rat, and I live for it. I love doing dumb shit and winning in ways the developers didn't expect. So what I did was I there's this one set of gloves that you get called gloves of teleportation. You can basically teleport people. What I like to do is I go to the edge of where the enemies are. My party is far away in a bush, in a ditch, hiding somewhere. I get one person to teleport them far away from their allies, and then we all gang up on him, beat him up in the bushes, rob him, and then no one is the wiser. And then we go and yoink another one by one, and then kill them all. I kept doing that until I leveled up enough to be able to stand and fight. Because I was level 1 and they're like level 4. They one shot me. It was not a fair fight, so it's okay if I fight dirty. I think Baldur's Gate 3 aligns with D&D, so I got it straight away. Ah, that does make sense. Divinity feels more like Pathfinder. I've never played Pathfinder, but I have watched some people play it. And the I saw action points and I was like, "Oh, this reminds me of how this works." And I'm going to be honest, I'm getting the hang of it and I'm learning to manage the action points a bit better cuz Baldur's Gate and D&D, each turn you have to use everything, otherwise it's wasted. If you don't use it, you can carry it on to the next round. But for Divinity, oh, that is a different story. Like, once I realized that, new strategies, new possibilities are all just like expanding in my mind. I'm like, oh, I don't have to hit him. I can save this. And then once I have more action points, I can hit the other one. And, you can strategize like that. Honestly, I didn't like it when I first started. It felt like it was like Baldur's Gate, but worse. And I was a bit confused with the system because I only know D&D, and Baldur's Gate was close enough. But after I gave it some time, started exploring some stuff, I realized, oh, this is actually not too bad. And yeah, I really started to get into it. I've been playing it for the last few days. In fact, today, I didn't feel like doing work, and I was like, okay, if I finish the art of this model, I am going to I'm going to boot up Divinity Original Sin, and then I can play until it's stream time. Lo and behold, I finished that in like a couple hours and spent the rest of the day playing. It is beautiful. I did cancel a stream the other day because I realized I was like crazy tired, and if I went live, I'd just be like a zombie. And I've gotten better at not streaming if I don't feel like it. So I was like, I'm gonna take the day off to rest and relax. I booted up the game and I played it until I went to bed. It was beautiful. Making me want to play now. Honestly, you should. It is really fun. What I like to do, I like playing games where it is like hard. You can't just go in and win by bashing your enemies. 100% you need to be able to say no to streaming. I used to not be able to, but I started getting like a little bit better at it. And then I got a bit too good at it because there were some times when I would be like crazy busy. I I would end up kind of overdoing it with the work stuff, so I'd have like no energy for stream. So I learned to say no, and then I had to learn to save energy so I don't have to say no as often. It's got to be a puzzle game. Not really. Puzzle games, sure, fun. But when it comes to combat games where you're guaranteed to win every fight, show up, punch the enemies, instant win, that's boring. I don't like that. I like it where if you show up, you don't take it seriously, you die. But if you show up, you plan, you use your environment, you you actually have a proper strategy, then you win. That's what I like. Sorry, my room was smelling nasty. Wally just did his business, but he didn't bury it. Hold on, 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, he didn't bury his poop, and if I didn't cover it quickly, the entire room will smell nasty. Where were we? Ooh, right, yeah. Um, that's actually why I don't like playing Baldur's Gate too much with my friends who are all min maxers. because they're all crazy, crazy powerful because they read guides on how to do like 10,000 damage in one turn. If you're playing D&D, it's fine because the DM can always scale it up even like in the middle of a fight. God knows I've done that several times. Like combat starts, they hit the enemy. I'm like, "Oh." I look at the enemy's health that's like 200. I'm like, "You know what? It's actually 400. Don't worry about it." I got no. It's all about having fun. I love having my characters having weakness. See, they're min maxers. They have very little interest in role playing, but they love the mechanics of being crazy powerful. Like that's what they like. It's not wrong. It's just they like that, and I like something else. Like for example, we're playing D&D, and one of the min maxer friends, he basically plays Thor from the Marvel movies. His words, specifically Thor 1, where he's like kind of arrogant. So his character sheet says like he is brave, cannot like stand for innocents being killed, yada yada yada. But when he plays, he's always like, "Oh, the enemies are coming. I'm going to hide behind this villager so it kills him first and not me." You know, it's not bad. I just find the contrast between the player and the character kind of funny. And we're not like a hardcore role players at the table. If you want to, you can. But if you're not, no one will like shame you for it. I love roleplay, 100%. In fact, my character is 100% utility, and all my powers and spells prepared to mess with people. I have this. This is what I love to do. I don't think I've described my druid character to you. Basically, they are happy go lucky, cheerful elf, ray of sunshine everyone just absolutely loves. But they are in a death cult. They believe civilization is a scourge and should be wiped off the planet, you know? So what do? They go, they befriend people, they say hi, they give them pamphlets, but when no one is looking, they shake hands with people and they cast a spell contagion, give them the plague. And when everyone starts dying and disease starts spreading, they're like, look at what civilization has brought you. Nature can heal you. And then they cast a healing spell and be like, see, if you want more healing, learn the ways of nature. And then I try to recruit them. I've been doing it every single time. Like every time we finish a quest and we shake hands with the mayor and they're like, "Thank you, you are all heroes." I'm like, "We could have never done this. We do this for the people. We don't want any reward." And then I shake his hand and I tell him, "May nature's blessings be upon you." And then I cast contagion. So if he sees the spell, he thinks I'm blessing him, not cursing him. God, I love playing D&D. I didn't have my session this Saturday, so yeah, diceless on a weekend. Can you imagine? D&D is such a fun game. Exactly. I feel like it's the kind of how would you say this? It's such an open sandbox. So if someone is creative and chaotic, trust me, the world is your oyster. I've been trying to rope people here into D&D. I actually have a one shot planned for some of the people here, but scheduling has been a problem. It has been several months. Fingers crossed, 2026 is when we actually play. Now, the reason it has taken so long is I want 100% attendance because I pitched the idea and like a handful of people were really excited about it. What setting is it? My own homebrew. It is basically vanilla fantasy world. But yeah, the reason it has taken so long is because I wanted 100% attendance because I didn't want people to get so excited and then we play without them. That feels bad. So I want to have the first one have 100% attendance and then moving forward in the future, if I make it a regular thing, it'll be, how do you say this? It'll be like, oh, this game is happening. If we have at least these many people, we proceed. Because that's how I do it at my table. Because not everyone's going to be available every single weekend. So if we have like 80% of the people, we proceed. Also, I have never, I've been a DM for like 4 years. I have never played any pre made settings. I have only ever homebrewed everything. That makes sense. You drop in and out characters. Exactly. If what I do at my table is I don't even make excuses for why someone is not there. Right? If someone isn't around, we boot up Roll20 and we're like, okay, this person's not here. Delete their token off of the map, and no one asks questions about it. I've like if anyone tries to like poke at it, they're like, huh, where did so and so go? I will throw my shoe at them. Not in character, me. I joke, but yeah. No one does that. It's just like, oh, this person's not here. We just poof them out of existence. And when they return, even like in the middle of a fight or whatever, I just drop them back in. No one questions it. And honestly, that system works beautifully. Because like at the end of the day, if you're playing D&D with like your friends, you're not running a show. Not everything has to be like cinematic and like make sense. Plot holes are fine so long as no one pokes at them. So yeah. X character is currently on the toilet, had a bad meal at the tavern. I used to do that. But then it started getting like a bit like hectic. Cause like imagine you're in a locked cell and then someone isn't around. How would you like where would they have gone? You know? So yeah, I kind of just poof them out of existence and like, yeah, they'll come back when they come back. You know? No one has like complained, no one has wanted. Sometimes if it's like a very difficult fight, I would take control of the character. In fact, for like okay, I have one of my friends. She's a casual player. She loves the role play. She loves the game. She barely understands how the combat mechanics work. Now, if you put someone like that in a table with min maxers, they're gonna feel like several levels behind because they're not optimizing the character. So my solution to that is I'm not gonna nerf the min maxers. They love doing what they love. What I did is I would just give them so many broken abilities and staffs, magic items, etc. So what ended up happening is when I played their character, they're the healer, right? I'm gonna hit to bed, getting quite tired. Well, thanks for stopping by. Ooh, we actually streamed longer than usual, but it's okay. I feel like continuing. Well, good night, Goldie. Bye bye. But yeah, I played with their healer character, and basically they were able to solo like an adult dragon at like they were level 8 because every time the dragon would hit them, their HP would go from like full to almost zero. They cast one healing spell with a magical staff that I gave them. It's basically the staff of Jod. Hold on, let me pull up the character. They're like, ooh, I want to play this one, and they send me a picture of Keanu Reeves, dressed as Jesus, holding puppies. And they're like, I want to be the god of shawarma. And I was like, okay, you know what? Say no more. What I did was I took it, very quick Photoshop, and I created this thing. Where is it? Oh, oops. I created their character. So they are John, the god of shawarma. They did make like a shitpost character, but it is super funny because they are god tier healer. You need to understand. Okay, you play D&D, so you understand this. They have a staff that has 10 charges. Each charge allows them to cast a healing spell at 4th level. No spell slots. They can cast 4th level healing 10 times a day and not even touch their spell slots. That being said, they never heal anyone at all because they're like, oh, I only heal my followers and people who worship me. And the rest of the party has too much pride to grovel. So they would rather be beaten an inch to close to death before asking for help. So yeah, as a result, they never understood the true power of that character until I played them. And literally every time a dragon would hit them, they'd lose almost all their health. I cast one healing spell, back to full. And I'm like, is that the best you got? again and again and again, and like I would not run out of spell slots, and I had to tell the other players, I'm like the min maxes, I'm like, guys, this is why I never let you play if play this character if the player is not around. That's why I always take it. They are broken as hell. You will never die unless this character decides to let you die. So yeah, it was funny. I liked it. You can't give that to a min maxer player. Yeah, do you know? Basically, the rationale is this. Hold on. The rationale is this. If this is the potential of a character, right? This is how theoretically strong they can be if you optimize everything. Min maxers, right? A min maxer will be able to utilize everything to the max, right? This is how powerful a min max will be. This is the maximum limit. This is how strong they are. A casual player, however, will only be able to tap into like a little bit of their power, right? Because they don't know how to optimize. And even if you optimize it for them, they don't know how to use it. So instead, what I do is I give them magic items that cover this gap. Does that make sense? So instead, what I do is, hold on, I drew this a bit badly. Yeah, that's what they end up doing. So if they can only tap like 10% of their potential, what I do is I raise the potential of this min maxer to about here. So when they inevitably fail to meet like the maximum power they can use, they kind of reach the same point here. So it's like everything is balanced. I make them super strong so that when they are very ineffective with it, they're at the same level of this. And I even told my min maxer players, this is not like a secret that I had to hide from them. Like, these casual players will get like a ton of buffs, and I will go a bit easy on them when it comes to like monsters and stuff. So if you know, don't feel like you're being targeted or anything. So yeah, that's how I make my table, because we have people who are like hardcore min maxers. They basically in their free time they're scrolling subreddits on like how to make like the absolute most powerful build. Literally all of the characters that they have made, I have seen like in a short somewhere on like Instagram of like how to make this character super super strong, you know, in order to have a table where like everyone can coexist and be happy. Yeah, that's what I did. This means you need to be creative in fights. You know, honestly, they're so strong to the point that they had to solve all of their problems through violence. So I actually was thinking, like, what if I make them win the fight but lose the war because they resorted to violence instead of diplomacy? Like, I was inspired by that by reading one of Sanderson's books. I'm a huge fan of Brandon Sanderson, a lot of his fantasy books. Now, one of his books, I wonder if this is spoilers. I'll be vague, so it's fine. One character, best warrior, headstrong, he's like a bull. So he basically wanted to like convince people of something, right? So what he did was he basically just barged in, beat the crap out of them, is like, see, I am strong. If I wanted to kill you, I would. I don't, so we're friends. And that's their definition of diplomacy. However, because they did that, because they used violence, several books later, someone used that as proof that they are bullheaded and cannot be trusted, and violence is the only thing they know. And they lost in a big way because of it. So I'm like, I should do something like that in my D&D campaigns. Not punishments. It's just the story will progress in a different way, right? Actually, before my friends, when we first started, they were a little bit worried because they're like, oh, I don't want to make decisions, I don't want to be the leader, because what if I choose wrong and then like bad things happen and then people hate me? And then I actually had to explain to them, this is D&D. Problems are the essence of the game. If you do not create your own problems, I will create them for you. as a DM. So there will be problems. Don't worry about it. That is a guarantee. I used to do layer effects like earthquakes, lava, even sonic boom that knocks them over. Ooh, actually, I love that mechanic in Divinity. It is it is so refreshing because Baldur's Gate everything is chance based. This one is just if you take out their armor, they go down immediately, 100% of the time. Ooh, speaking of being a problem, I wanted to show this in practice to my friends because one of them has chosen to be a DM and I get to be a player. That's where I play my druid character. Now, every single time an NPC talks to us and no one steps forward and makes a decision, I valiantly go forth and I choose for the party, except I always choose what I think is the worst decision and will get everyone killed. Now, the reason I do this is because I want my friends to see that as a player, you can be a dumb shit and get people killed, and no one is going to hate you for it. Like, for example, we encountered some cultist and he was talking batshit crazy, and I can't remember how we got into it, but I was like, who do you work for? I want to speak to them. I'm like, I would like to speak to your manager. I was like, you wish to commune with like some dark god or whatever. He's like, and he presented us with like some cursed berry, which is obviously the thing you're supposed to decline. And my friends at the table, they're like, oh, my character doesn't take it and eat it. So what I would do is I'd go as my character and they're like, guys, that is so rude. When someone offers you snacks, the least you could do is try some. And then I eat it and was immediately cursed. Now, my friend saw that I was cursed, and it was terrible. So he very slyly offered it to the party again. Now they're like, oh, this is bad. We shouldn't eat that. Uh, like, we shouldn't eat that. That is bad. And they refused again. And that is where I'm like, guys, you can't keep doing this. Turns to the evil cultist. I'm like, I'm so sorry for my friends. They were probably raised in a barn and they just were never taught manners. Allow me. And then I ate a second one. At that point, my DM actually had to step in and be like, no, he quickly like yanks it back. But you see, that is the kind of dumb shit that I live for. I am the character that will touch everything that is cursed when everyone else is afraid to. Like if someone wanted to take the lead, like I will always, give it to them because a lot of them are less are less experienced. So I want them to like take charge. But if no one takes charge, I lead by example of what not to do. And honestly, that's what I really love about D&D. You know what? After like New Year's and holidays and stuff, I'll really, really try and get the one shot going because I want to make it like a regular thing, right? Just have like a one shot, maybe like once a month, once every 2 months, and just be like, whoever wants to join can join. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. We need more community events. So that's my idea for next year. That's cool. I would love to join. You're always welcome to. Shamelessly plugs a Discord. I do have a TTRPG role, which is barely used, but if I am to open a game, I will always use that ping. I warn you, I love to RP and build my characters with faults. That is the best kind of character to play. Honestly, if a character doesn't have faults, I feel they're a bit shallow. So everyone can play to their strengths, but it's a real challenge to play to your faults. One of my friends is good at this because it's like, oh, I play an arrogant character. This person insulted me. He's like, the smart thing to do would be to leave it be because we're surrounded by guards. But there is no way my character would ever let that slide. So I punch him in the face. I have one friend who's like that. But I do feel my voice giving out a little bit. So I think we are going to call it a day. See, Chumrad is streaming, so we're gonna raid into them. Um, Stream for what, 2.5 hours? It's great to see you. Yeah, thanks for popping by to my streams. I understand I streamed like way a bit too early for you. So yeah, it's always a pleasant surprise when you appear. But yeah, I hope to see you around soon. When's my next stream? Today's Tuesday. 2 days from now. I usually don't stream this long, but actually you came before the 2 hour mark. So yeah, if you come before like the 2 hour mark, I'm almost always live. So yeah. Anyway, I think I'm gonna grab a snack. I finished my book. I don't know what to do before bed. My friend has been trying to get me to watch Black Mirror, so maybe I'll give that a try. I watched a few episodes, but that was ages ago. So yeah, anyway, I think I'll give it a fresh rewatch and catch up to the latest seasons. Anyway, time was almost running out, so thank you everyone for stopping by. Hope you had a great time. I know I did. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Have a great night. Yeah, good night. Bye bye.